if that isn't stressful enough, they also face taking this priceless Jaguar through the narrow corridors of the Eurotunnel car carriage.
There's that train. I want to go and find Jason and get some food.
Satellite guided GPS is not allowed on this race, and Jonathan and Robert are driving as the racers of the 1920s and 30s would have, using traditional maps. They must plan their route the old-fashioned way. Robert's the navigator, but he's struggling to understand the exact route they must take through France to get to Venice. With no time to spare, the boys are back on the road. They can't waste any time, they're already behind. They need to get to Calais train station for the second leg of the race and meet up with the Orient Express trackside before it departs for Paris. This is the start of the second leg of the journey. The train is already in the lead, so the Jaguar is really going to have to push on if it wants to beat the Orient Express to Venice. You've turned a few heads with this car, I've got to say.
Have we? Have we?
I think it's more your fashion than anything.
We haven't set any car alarms off, disappointingly.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? On the overrun.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Nail it.
Yeah, exactly. Yours looks older than mine, anyway, so you might not quite. You might break down.
I have a feeling this is second hand. Well, I only wish I was in your car, really.
I'm sure you do.
Anyway, yeah.
You'd be a bit claustrophobic on that train.
I've got to say.
When we watch.
Yeah, what's wrong with the shot? We're racing. Look at us. Absolutely stunning.
We are racing.
That's right. It's relentless. Yeah. And with that, the boys start revving up that glorious 3.8 litre engine. Although Jonathan and Robert look relaxed with only inches of space either side of the car, one wrong move could spell disaster, causing hundreds of thousands of pounds of damage. Stood here in this absolute luxury, it's kind of easy to forget what the boys are going through, isn't it, really? But what sort of challenges do you think they're going to face?
Well, we've seen the rain coming down, I said a few minutes ago. It's going to be wet,
yeah.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold on the top half because there's no proper windscreen, they're getting the wind in their face. They're going to be roasted on the bottom half because they're sitting just over, particularly the co-driver sitting right over the exhaust. It's going to be difficult at night actually seeing where they're going. I mean, the main thing is no windscreen, so they're getting it in the face all the time. Flies, bugs, all of that. It's racing suspension. It's not a comfortable car. There's a lot less room than a normal car. Hard work.
I don't know, for some reason that's cheering me up. I know that's wrong, that's bad. I feel so sorry for Jonathan and Robert at this point because this train is beautiful. It's more like being on a film set than it is on any kind of train that I've ever been on before. Now I'm going to be in here for the next 36 hours, so I think I'll give you a little tour of my accommodation, which I've got to say is quite palatial. So here we are. Down here is my sofa, which actually doubles up to be my bed. Now I've been assured by the steward that showed me around a few minutes ago that when I'm having dinner he'll come into my room and actually convert that into a lovely comfortable single bed with nice fluffy pillows. The rest of this thing is pure theatre. It's all wood panelled, it's all heavy chrome. It's like turning the clock back 60, 70 years. Even the little coat hangers up here are made of gorgeous soft velvet. Can't wait to hang the suits up. And over here, I've got a range of buttons, one of which, importantly, if I press it, then the steward comes down and attends to my every need, be it drinks, be it food, be it newspaper, basically whatever I want. Nice though that Jaguar is, it hasn't got a patch on this when it comes to accommodation. So I'm actually really looking forward to having dinner, really looking forward to the evening to kick back, have a couple of drinks and then come back here and snuggle down for a full 8 hours of sumptuous sleep. Begs the question though, how are the boys getting on? Jonathan has noticed a strong smell of petrol and he's worried there may be something seriously wrong with the car.
That wouldn't be the plug. No, it's that one again. That's the one that set fire the other day. So that was not firing. This one.
So those are all dry, but that's the one that was wet.
Yeah, that's where I had the fire.
Well, that's easy enough.
Yeah, well, all right, then you sort it out. A fire's only a fire, isn't it?
He's called his mechanical support to try to solve the problem. There seems to be no easy fix. A huge volume of petrol is leaking directly from the carbs and could easily catch fire and take the car and drivers up with it. Everyone is worried. A problem like this early in the race could spell disaster. The mechanics are trying to repair it on the spot and avoid taking the car to a specialist workshop. It looks like it can be patched together, but every second counts as the Orient Express races ahead. However, it hasn't been repaired completely, as Jonathan and Robert can't spare any time off the road. It's a huge risk and not an easy decision. If the carburettor sticks again, then one stray spark could doom the entire crew. It's still early in the race as both the Jaguar and the Orient Express begin to make their way through France. They're still nearly 1,000 miles ahead of both vehicles, and the Orient Express is ahead and making great progress. However, the Jaguar appears to still be having more problems with the leaking carburettor, so the boys have decided to pull over just outside Verdun. It's a melancholy moment. As the mechanics inspect the car, Jonathan and Robert nervously wait to find out if the Jaguar will continue with the challenge. The mechanics have performed another patch, but the boys have a lot of time to make up.
I'll have our tea in Verdun then.
Back on board the train, everything's feeling pretty relaxed. We're ahead of the car and the evening's entertainment has only just begun. However, despite my confidence, it looks like Jonathan's Jaguar is not as far behind as I originally hoped.
Side on side, yeah.
So they're catching up?
They're catching up pretty quickly.
Unlike a car where the way it's driven is down to me, the train is all about enjoying the journey, so I decided to do exactly that. No doubt they'll be tucking their lobster tails just as I am. Whilst Jonathan and Robert press on ahead, we have to stop off in Paris for a 30-minute wait. Now, it might not sound a lot, but at this stage, it could make the crucial difference to the outcome of this race.
We leave in 9:57, so we just attach the lock of the engine to get back to Venice.
So it's 9:35, we're here in Paris. I've got to say, very mixed emotions, because we've had a fantastic dinner, had some great wine, lovely lobster, fantastic cheese board, sumptuous glass of port. But the fact of the matter is, we're stopped. The train's going nowhere, and I know that at the same time as we're stood here waiting for us to take water and passengers and luggage on, the boys in the D-Type are cracking on through the night. They're probably ahead of us by now, they're certainly very, very close. This challenge is a lot tighter than I could have ever imagined. It's a shame the driver of the train doesn't realise that. As we wait for the last remaining passengers, I have a sinking feeling that Jonathan and Robert are painfully close to catching us up. The Jaguars make good time, so after hours of driving, the team have decided they can afford to stop and grab something to eat.
My good. Whew, beautiful drive, huh? What a fantastic evening blast. Tremendous. It's only 20 past 10. But the whole night to go still.
So we're all going to have the menu of the day, I think. Entrecote is something else. So we're going. I think that must be steak for €10 and 20 cents, which I personally think is expensive.
Should we go to the piano bar after this?
Let's go to the piano bar. Let's go to the piano bar and eat some olives.
Yeah.
Jonathan, how are you? I don't hear an engine running. Are you stationary?
No, we're fine. We're stationary. Yeah, we're outside the restaurant Le Boucher de Quai, which means we think it means the butcher of the quay. We're in Verdun.
Verdun, where's that? I've got a clue where we are, you know.
What do you mean, where's Verdun? Haven't you heard of the Battle of Verdun?
I've got to say, we had the most fantastic lobster tails. Massive.
You had lobster tails.
Yeah, as you do when you're outside Paris. Amazing steak. The cheese board was divine, and I had the sweetest port you can imagine. It was just sumptuous. Company.
How was the custard?
Custard. Well, no, we didn't, but we had a little bit of single cream, and it was delicious.
Single cream, lovely. It sounds great. It sounds great. Listen, the good news is, tell me how much your bottle of wine cost.
Anything from about €32 for half a bottle up to about 350.
€32 to 350. Okay. Steak and chips in Verdun, €10.
€10?
€10 for steak and chips.
Can you put one aside? Put one aside. So how's the car going? How's the car going?
Well, we've got a carburettor problem. There's petrol leaking everywhere,
Really?
but that's a technicality. Yeah, genuinely, yeah, we've got a stuck carb. So it stinks of petrol, and every time we stop, there's just fuel everywhere.
Oh God!
And we think the solution is to put some two-stroke in the float.
Okay.
The petrol's drying out. We think the petrol's dry.
Can I suggest you carry a fire extinguisher?
We've got a fire extinguisher. I've got my coat. The fire extinguisher is my coat.
There is a little bit of me that wants to be with you.
The only bit of you that wants to be